PDF Butler. So they've been our partner since day one. Like when YeurDreamin started as an idea in 2018, they were there for us, and it's really grown into a good partnership, supporting each other. With the headquarters in Belgium, they have multiple apps. Document generation is definitely how they started. Of course, you see it in the name, PDF Butler. Also have e-signature and other things. But Andries is here to tell us more about it. You can.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You can tell us a lot more about PDF Butler and what it can do and everything around it.
Yep, I can, and I will also give you a happy flow. Show a process from creating a quote or an opportunity, get it signed, and get it stored. Yes, that's what I'm going to present, and I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. Thank you. So if you start sharing your screen, I would say over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, quick introduction of myself, Andries de Jonge, already for 25 years in the media business. Working with Salesforce now for 6 years, and during COVID, I started to implement Salesforce for some media companies here in the Netherlands. During that time, with the platform we were implementing, some good document generation was missing. And that was the reason I came along with PDF Butler. And I was really happy about the platform and the product, especially on the support. So after I stopped implementing Salesforce, I became working for PDF Butler, and I'm doing this now for 2 years, responsible for the Dutch market. PDF Butler, 6 years ago, founded by Igor Stuyver in Belgium. Currently, we are with around 70 people all around the world, from Japan, Australia, Europe, and in the US. And we have a support team also covering Follow the Sun. So on any moment when you have a question, suggestion, we have a fantastic team who will support you with questions. Yeah, I'm going to show of course, a happy flow with Salesforce. Hopefully you can see my screen. I'm sharing it currently.
Yep.
Good. Of course, you're all familiar with with Salesforce, or almost, or learning. PDF Butler. The basis of our product is a document generation, working from every object within Salesforce. So a custom or a standard object, it doesn't matter. You can connect our app and visualize data. The output is PDF, of course, a docx, Excel, PowerPoint, or an email. And the basis for the template is Word. Besides PDF Butler, what is the basis? We also developed Sign Butler. I'm going to show you later on as well. What is, of course, completely compatible with the requirements that are set all over the world for digital signature. We have created also Form Butler, where you can generate a form, send it out to a client, to a prospect, who can fill in information or update data. And by saving the form, this data is pushed back into Salesforce. We have also Collaboration Butler. That's the connection between Salesforce and Google Workspace, or Salesforce and SharePoint, so that all documents you are generating on Salesforce can be stored on SharePoint. So that will save storage, but it also gives you the ability to create in a structured way folders and make sure that the rights are correctly in line with the Active Directory, for instance, from SharePoint. Besides this, we also have Bulk Butler. It's already in the name, bulk, generating documents, signatures in bulk and sending it out. And last but not least, we have also Contract Butler, where you can do the contract negotiation with the opposite party, with redlining, version control, approval flows, in and exclude clauses. And when it's done, then you can generate, of course, with PDF Butler, a nice PDF and get it signed by Sign Butler. Okay. What I'm now going to demonstrate is just an opportunity with some products, different languages, what we of course support also with the based on country, the decimal separators will take care of this according to the Salesforce specs. We support all languages that are supported by Salesforce. And if you have a really local language, of course, you can use the translation workbench. In this case, we have, of course, the opportunity, a name, we have an account. It's my surname's business and a primary contact, Johan Cruijff in this case. And Johan is a new customer and his primary language is Dutch. As expected, when you now generate the car quote, and it's lightning fast, it is going to be Dutch. Quote voor, that's Dutch. But what is important, also the date is in the Dutch format. We have a long version and we have a short version. If you want me to change this short version into the long version, it will take me 30 seconds. Of course, the audience is English, so we're going to change this quickly to English, but you see the template is in Dutch, and this is the data coming out of Salesforce. At the bottom, we have some buttons, and I will explain later. Okay, so we are multilingual, multi-currency. We support it all. So when I now change the contact person to, let's take Michel Platini, a famous footballer as well, and we generate the quote again. Of course, it's going to be in French. And also the date notation is directly French. I think you will get it. So what I will do now is change it one more time to David Beckham. I have also Frans Beckenbauer, by the way, if you want to have it in German, but let's stay with David Beckham because he is an English famous football player. Again, I will generate the quote and go quickly over it. And then we're going to make some adjustments and then regenerate the quote. Okay, here we go. Of course, it is in English now. You will see date notation is English. The text is English. These are different templates in our backend. You have to create it once, and when it's done, it's easy to update. What you also directly see, we missed some vital information here. We're going to use Form Butler in a minute to collect this information from David. What you see here, personal text. You can write some extra personal text, of course, and if we leave it blank, of course, we can make sure this text will disappear. Scrolling down, you see a picture, a nice picture of a car. This is now stored on Salesforce, but if you have an external product database, it is also possible to make a call to this database and collect all the information, what is relevant for the quote. We support tables. If we add an extra product, of course, an extra line will be here. And I'm going to change this type of client to an existing customer. And then you will see that this client or David will get 10% discount. That will mean that there will be an extra column where you also see the discount. This value here, it's a sum, of course, of these values. Probably this is in Salesforce, but if this sum is not in Salesforce as a value, it is possible with PDF Butler to make this calculation as well. Scrolling down, of course, some extra nice pictures. And here at the bottom, we see a really nice white spot. When I'm changing the type of customer, you will see that there is some text with extra discount. And this is really helpful because it's pretty easy to hide or visualize data, tables, pictures, or whatsoever based on a logic. We call it in the Netherlands, Jip and Janneke. It is like if this, then that. And in this example, if customer is existing, then show the text. Okay, but I'm going to show you in a minute. Scrolling down, what you will see here, we also prepared it for digital signature with Sign Butler. In this case, we have only one signee, but if you want to have a dynamic way or add extra people who needs to sign, you can use our manual sign functionality. About the dynamic signature, it is easy to create a rule like if value of the order is more than 10,000, also we need an external signature or an internal signature. So that's really flexible. Of course, there's a reference number. You can make this that you have to fill it in. So when it gets signed, you receive a PO number so that for invoicing, there is a connection with the buying partner. Okay, at the bottom, as said, forward to manual sign gives me the option to add manual by manual putting extra people in who needs to sign the contract. Added before mail quote. In this case, we're going to use a Lightning template. What we can still edit before sending it out, and this quote will be attached. Of course, the template will be English because David is English. If it was sent to Johan Cruijff, it was in Dutch. I can also say, okay, just mail this quote to David Beckham. Then I click here. I can also download it, of course, and then send it separately out of Outlook, or in our case, I'm going to close it. Okay, let's move on. So as said, I'm going to change the type of client to an upgrade client. What we can edit this, and what is possible as well is that you add images. Let me take a small one. I prepared this for this morning. And save it. And what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to add an extra product, because based on the product, in our case, some extra documentation will be added to the quote. In this case, I take the rims, some nice rims. We need 4 of them. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to drive. And when I'm generating the quote in a second, you will see that the rims are, of course, added as a product, but also we have some extra information about the rims. That's in this case automatically, but we can also do this manually. So we have a component that's called the PDF Butler Dynamic Selector. If you want to add extra information to this quote, you can do it automatically, but you can do it also by hand. So for instance, if there is a winter promotion, whatever, I can just select this file and put it here. And when I generate the quote, it will be added to my total PDF. In this case, I'm going to remove it, but trust me. Going back again, you see here also another component. In a minute, we're going to ask to sign by David Beckham this quote. We have here a record where all data is stored. We have a PDF Butler Live Edit. This gives you the opportunity to edit the quote before you send it out to David. You have a standard contract and the payment terms are 30 days, for instance. But in this case, the client wants to have 60 days. Well, of course, you can create a new template and then change only the 30 to 60 days. But in this case, what you can do is also download the docx, open the contract in Word, change from 30 to 60 days, save it on your PC, upload it again with this component, and then the new version is again in the flow. Going further, we have here a component that's our form butler. As said, we're going to miss some information from David, so we're going to ask him for his VAT number, telephone number, etc., etc. I'm going to do this in a minute. But let's first go to the car quote. I'm going to generate the quote again, and we will see some differences, and I'm going to send it out also to David directly. To make use of this element, you have to be on the Activity tab. And when I click Car Quote Generate, the new version is here. We know this all, right? We have seen it. Hey, we see a nice logo into the personal text is just standard, what you can do with our technology. But when I scroll down, we see the rims here. And because it's an existing customer, we see also an extra column in the table. And that's just with a simple logic. Also, the calculations with the discount are placed here. So that's really a nice feature functionality in our technology. And when we scroll down, as said, the white spot, we see now some extra text. Further down, we have some extra information about the rims. So in this case, we add a product, and our logic is, if product rims is selected, please add this extra information. And you can do that with a lot of use cases. Okay. Quote is ready. I'm going to send it to David for his information. So we have the option added before mail quote. And what now is happening? An email is prepared to David Becken. I'm in BCC. We have a prepared subject line based on macros, of course. And here we have a standard email template. And David, dear David, and we can adjust this email. Nice match yesterday. And then we can send it out. Of course, the PDF is attached. If we want, we can also add some extra files. For instance, if we have connection with Collaboration Butler to SharePoint, we can also add files from SharePoint here. And it's, of course, related to the opportunity. Sending it out, email is sent out, and of course, it's directly placed on the activity. It is currently unopened, but when we open it, it will be a date notation when it was opened. When I'm now off tomorrow and David calls my colleague, he or she can see what is the status and what is the situation of the order. Now, I can tell you, David called. He said, hey, I want to buy this car. Very good. That's great, David. We're going to send you a sign request. But before we can do this, we need some information from you because we are lacking some vital data. We use Form Butler for this in this example. So when I generate a form with Form Butler, we have all the information we have already of David pre-populated, but also the information we're missing is empty. So we need his phone number, we need his VAT, his address, etc., etc. Maybe also some additional information. If he wants to fill it in, he can select this as well. And my colleague says to David, David, watch your inbox. There's an email with a link. Please fill in the information and submit it to us. I can now go into my inbox, but I go directly to the contact of David Beckham and go to his timeline, and you will see the emails in his inbox. This is a standard Lightning template, but you can adjust, of course. It is English, but if it was for Platini or for Franz Beckenbauer, it was in French or in German, of course. When David clicks on the link, he sees the same form as we saw just in Salesforce, and David says, it's not David, it's Sir David, and this is his telephone number. I'm a man. I live on the Beckham Street in the city of London. Zip code is a lot of nines. The country is UK, of course. And for the rest, we leave it. It is also possible to upload some extra files if needed, driver's license, for instance, or whatsoever. Or he can save it because the doorbell was ringing. And when he comes back, he can submit the information. But we forgot something because we also need the VAT. So when we fill this in, a number, I can submit it. And in a couple of seconds, we get the message, form submitted, you can close this page. So when we now go back to Salesforce, you will see that when I click on David, it's now Mr. Sir David Beckham. His gender is filled. His phone number is filled. And when we go to the account level, we'll see that the VAT is filled and that the address is filled. So by using Form Butler, we can add and update information. Okay, now we have all the information. We can go to the next step, and that is get the order signed. So back to the proposal, and to make it possible to send it out, in our example, you can do this of course also automatically, we have to go to the negotiation and review stage. And when I now click on the car quote, something will change big time at the bottom. Because in the other example, we could email. In this case, we can send it out for signature. Again, we can forward it to manual sign by adding extra people who needs to sign. We can send it for sign with "It's me." That's especially for Belgium. We can send on sign quote. In this case, a standard email template is sent out with this quote attached to it, and then redirects directly to the signing page. Or what we will do is also sign quote now, where we'll go directly to the signing page. What also is maybe good to show is that because we are in this stage, we also add the general terms and conditions.
Sorry, can I just interrupt for 2 seconds?
Yes.
I think in the previous screen with the form, we didn't see that on our side. Can you maybe quickly show that again?
Absolutely, absolutely. I was afraid for that. So let me close this, and then you have seen, right, the form we generated. Now all the information is of course in because I just entered it. So let me close this, and let me quickly then change again some information from Sir David Beckham, so that I can show you. Okay. So the story is that we still need some information from David Beckham before he can sign the contract. So again, we have here the form where some information is missing. I assume you will see this. I'm going to send the email to David. And when I go to David, his activity timeline, you will see this email he just received. So when David opens his email client, he will see the same email. And when he clicks on the link, he will go to, and now you will see it, the same form as we have seen in Salesforce, but he does see it now online. So David has now the option to say, hey, I'm not David, I'm Sir David. And my phone number is a lot of fours, for instance. I'm a male. And my VAT number is 5555. And I'm not living in the Beckham Street, but in the Victoria Street. As already said, but you haven't seen it, you can also attach some extra files. You can save it. And when I click on submit, or David in this case, you get the message, form submitted, you can close the page. So when we now go back to Salesforce and we click on the name of David Beckham, you see that it's David Beckham. But when I click on it, what you will see is that now his name is updated to Sir David Beckham. He's a male and his phone number is filled in. When I go to the account name, you will also see that his VAT is filled in. So with Form Butler, you can add and update information. Okay. Thanks, André, for jumping in. so that it's for everybody clear how Form Butler works. Going back again to the opportunity, and I try to get some speed into this, but it takes some time because there are a lot of steps and we can do a lot with the technology. When I generate now the quote again, as already explained a minute ago, we are able to send it out for signature. And because of the stage of ready for signature, we have added the general terms and condition. So in this case, we just click sign quote now. And what now happens? An extra page is opened. I'm going to share it directly with you, where you can sign the contract. So this is what David will see when he clicks the link in the email he receives. This is now Sign Butler branded, but of course you can brand it to your own look and feel. The environment is English because David is English, but if you want to have it in Dutch, of course you can change it here. Before going here, I'm going to show you quickly again Salesforce, because when we create a sign request, we create a record, a sign request. And in this record, we store all information about this sign request. So when I click on the details, we come into this, where you have an overview of the sign request. The name, the status, when it was created. If you put an expiration time on it, it will display here. A rejection reason. So if somebody rejects, you can read here what is the reason. The number of people who needs to sign. In this example is just one person. If we would have added an extra signer, it would be, of course, 0 out of 2. The related record. We have the document. When we have completed the signature, there will be an extra document here. That is a COC, a certificate of completion. Especially banks and insurance companies love that the audit trail, what we log, is stored in a separate document. We shall also see the signers, in this case just one, Sir David Beckham. If there were 2 or 3, of course they were listed here. In the signing process, we support series signing, parallel signing, witness signing, group signing, all kind of signing procedures are supported by our tool. And of course, later on, the activity will be here as well. As we did not send out an email, it's not here. If you send it out for email, then the email would be listed here as well. Okay, let's go back to the Sign Butler part. As said, you can change the language. Here at the bottom, you can reject or reassign. If you received this by accident, you can reassign it to somebody else who is allowed to sign. And here at the bottom, you can say, sign the document. But of course, I do get an error because I have to mark, I have read and approved the entire document. But when I try to click that, to mark that, it says, listen, Dries, you didn't read the complete document. So we are really forced to go on and read the whole document. What gives us a very good moment to fill in the reference number. You're dreaming. Scrolling down, we see the general terms and conditions. And now we're here. Great. Now we are able to click, I have read and approved the entire document. And now I'm able to click on sign the document. Here we have an in-between step. You can remove this, but it is also possible to upload some extra files. We have clients, for instance, who bring cars to people in front of the door, and before they sign the contract that the car is from them, they make some pictures, upload them here, that the car was delivered in a very good state. For now, we'll skip it, and then you see the options we can use to sign this contract. So of course, we have the handwritten. What we can do is also draw. I do this with my mouse. If you open it on a laptop, on a tablet, or on a phone, you can do it with your finger. We have an option to request a one-time code by mail. You can upload a nice image. with a picture of your signature. It's pretty old school, but it still happened. We support also SMS, so that you receive a code on your mobile phone. Especially for the Netherlands and for YeurDreamin in Belgium, there's also a way that you sign with your bank app in the Netherlands. If I click next, the QR code is generated. I open the bank app on my mobile phone, scan the QR code, and then I can sign the contract. Good to mention is that the SMS, EDIN, and YeurDreamin are extra services out of our technology, so an extra cost is here involved. But for now, let's use this. I have no inspiration, so I just create something, and when I click sign, it takes a couple of seconds, and then the contract will be signed. Document is signed, and we can close this window. It's not what we're going to do. I'm going back to the sign request, what I already showed you earlier, where before we signed it, the status was pending. And when I refresh now this page, some stuff is changed. Of course, it's finished because 1 out of 1 has signed. What we also see, we have a nice audit trail, step by step. There is logged what is done by who. And now it's not that long because it was just one signer. But if you have a couple of signers, of course, you will have a huge amount of data here. Also, when it takes somebody too long to sign, reminders are sent, of course. We see a nice green mark behind Sir David Beckham because he has signed. And what I already said, the certificate of completion is also generated. So this is a separate document where all the content of the audit trail is stored. Of course, the actual contract, and maybe I'm going a little bit quick, the actual contract, what we have signed, is also available, of course. Here it is. And then you will see my really nice, going quickly, sorry for your eyes. And here you see my signature. If I would have used Collaboration Butler, this contract would be stored on SharePoint. Last but not least, I'm going back to the opportunity. When we left here, it was a negotiation state. When I refresh now the quote, the opportunity, of course, it's going to be in the closed won status, and the reference number with YeurDreamin is filled. For sales, it's now done. Now, somebody else, finance can send an invoice, operations can do his next step, but from here, it is completed in the happy flow. So in short, we have PDF Butler, the basis, generating a quote. Output in this case was PDF, but you can also have an output of Excel, PowerPoint. Then with Form Butler, we requested some extra information or update information. And in the end, it was digitally signed by Sign Butler. And from here, I think I've completed the demo. I can talk about this for hours, but for now, I think it gives you a good idea of our technology.
Thank you. Thank you. We do have a few questions. I think we have a few minutes to go through those. I'll show them on the screen. The first one is, how is PDF Butler scale for enterprises with high document generation needs?
Not a problem at all. We have, of course, some big clients all over the world. We are native Salesforce, so we run on the tech stack of Salesforce. So there's not a reliability issue. And if you have a high volume of documents, then we have the product, for instance, of Bulk Butler, where you can generate and send out documents in bulk and in batches. So Yeah, that's not a problem at all, Andre.
Okay. Then I'm not sure if this is a long or short question or answer. So how's the document offered to the customer for the signing, and especially then what's the technology used behind it?
Yeah, it is of course a Sign Butler, our technology. But maybe the question behind it, does the customer need some technology on his PC, on his telephone? Absolutely not. It is in the browser. So, and it works on, in the app on Safari. All web browsers are supported. So for the person who needs to sign, there's no special installation of technology needed.
Okay, good. Then the last one, is it possible to see all the older versions of the generated PDFs?
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think we have time for this, but I love to jump, Joris, with you on a call and to show you. But in the backend, when you set up PDF Butler, my first time took me 3 hours to install PDF Butler, Sign Butler, generate my first document and get it signed. It was not nice, but the data was there. But you start with creating a data source, and from there with a SOCL builder. So it's easy for me. It was really easy to create a SOCL because we have a builder for that. But then if you go to the next step, that's the PDF Butler, then you make the decision how you want to generate the documents. In our demo, we just overwrite, but of course you can add version numbering to it so that you have a complete list of all the versions that you have generated over time.
All right, thank you. And then,
as I said, I will be also, I'm already in Amsterdam, by the way. It's really close here. So I will be there at the end of the day. So if you're there, we can also have a cup of coffee or a chat on this questions you have later on.
Yeah, sounds good. But before we go to Amsterdam, one last question. Which industries are using PDF Butler so far?
Doesn't matter. We support all industries, but we are, and I'm really a fan about this, is about the non-profit in the Netherlands especially, but we also have the automotive, we have the manufacturing industry, healthcare, insurance. So it is, food. We have a lot of. Maybe you saw it in my demo. I have some examples ready with demos for the healthcare, for the food industry, for the manufacturing. So we support everything, Elizabeth.
All right, thank you. So that's all for now. Please also have a look at the comments in YouTube. There's quite a few good comments. Thanking you. Great demo, and indeed, also thank you from my side, from our side. Thank you for doing this, and we'll see you in Amsterdam in the afternoon.
Absolutely. Good luck, and talk later.